everyone, thanks for joining me. It's been a while, hasn't it? I expect you're wondering where I've been. So I thought I'd come and tell you what's been going on, why I haven't been uploading videos. Okay, it's very difficult to articulate this I have made myself some notes, so if I'm looking down, I apologise. But it's very difficult to articulate exactly what the situation is because I kind of don't know what my own feelings are about it. So if this all sounds garbled and doesn't make a lot of sense, I apologise in advance. But I thought I kind of owed it to you to come and explain where I've been, because I have had quite a lot of messages and comments asking where I am and if everything's all right. First of all, yes, everything's absolutely fine, no problems. I am just taking a break. Secondly, the reasons for taking a break. 2020, it's been a year, hasn't it? It's been, let's hope we never have to live through another one like this. Let's just say that. I am tired. I'm really, really tired. I haven't had a break since December last year. I haven't had a holiday from work, an actual holiday. We've had a day away here and there, a couple of days recently, and I feel like my last video that you saw was my trip with my parents and my brother and his wife. We were away for 3 nights, and I feel like I was putting all my hopes into that being the relaxing break that I needed, that I felt I needed. And it just wasn't. That is not to say that it wasn't nice, it wasn't enjoyable. We loved every minute of it. It was really nice. It was great to spend time together, but it was quite busy and hectic. We changed hotels halfway through, and there was quite a lot of driving. And as I touched upon in my last video, it was difficult with my dad's dementia. That was quite a big factor that we had to deal with during the holiday, and it was quite draining. So I came back from that feeling less relaxed than I had done when I went away, I think it's fair to say, even though I enjoyed it immensely. It was, I came back feeling not as relaxed as I hope I was going to feel. The following Sunday, my video went up, my video of the trip away, and I had edited it late on the Saturday, and I hadn't had time to watch it all back. It was quite a long video, and there was music to add, and so it was quite a big editing job. And I made an editing error in it, which was drawn to my attention by several of you. Basically, I might as well tell you, I was doing a segment where I was putting my makeup on in the hotel room, and very briefly, for about a third of a second, you could see Ashley in the background getting out of the bath. He got out of the bath and walked across a doorway in the background, and I hadn't picked it up. It was his back view rather than his front view, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. As I said, it was very, very brief. But this resulted in me having to take the video down. I then had to re-edit it, and this was all happening on sort of late Sunday afternoon, early Sunday evening, and re-edit it, re-upload it, and I just found myself feeling quite stressed about that, and it was eating into my Sunday having to do this, and then I re-uploaded it and had to do all the back end stuff all over again, and I just thought, do I really want to be doing this? And I felt like I was spreading myself too thin. I wasn't having time to do things in the way I'd like to do them. And I think because I was in quite a negative mindset, having come back from a break that was lovely but not as relaxing as I hoped it would be, and plunged straight back into work as usual and everything else. I just wasn't in a great headspace for dealing with that, and I thought, also, can I just say at this point, I am going to swear in this video. If you are offended by bad language, or if you're watching with children around, please do not watch. I don't want you to tell me how much you don't like my bad language, okay? So yeah, I just thought, fuck it. I'm having a break from YouTube. I'm fed up with it. And there was other things going on in the background as well, other issues that have been building up and perhaps I hadn't noticed, but when I actually took a step back and didn't film any videos, and so I didn't have that pressure. I've got to get my Wednesday upload done, got to get, and giving myself, I mean, I give myself the pressure. I'm not saying it's coming from externally, it's pure. I realised that there were a lot of other issues feeding into how I was feeling, and I think the overarching feeling is that I need a bloody holiday. I haven't had a holiday since last December. I'm bloody knackered. I haven't had a break from work other than the odd night away. I've probably said this already in this video, so apologies if I'm repeating myself, but I just need a holiday. That's how Ashley and I operate. We work really bloody hard all the time, and then 3 or 4 times a year we go to a lovely hotel in the sunshine and we lie on a deck chair and read and swim and eat nice food and do absolutely nothing. And there hasn't been any of that in my life this year, as there hasn't been in any of ours. Now, added to that, my YouTube numbers, as you know, my subscriber count and the view numbers I get have increased a lot this year. And I've always prided myself on reading and responding to a lot of comments, reading them all, and I always leave a little heart on them when I've read them, so you know. And this was taking me longer and longer and longer. It's a period of hours every week it's taking me to keep up with the comments, and I just haven't got the time, and I didn't know where I was going to go with that, because not replying and acknowledging your comments feels incredibly rude. It doesn't sit well with me as a person. I want to be able to acknowledge and respond to all the comments, and I haven't got that time available to me. I can't keep up with it, I guess, and that was frustrating me. And I don't have an answer to this one. I don't know where it's going to go, because I've thought about turning the comments off completely, but then that takes away my connection with you guys, so that's not really an answer. I just don't know, because it does feel not right to not be able to acknowledge and respond to comments. So that's another issue that I've got swirling around in my head. And there was a couple of, I think, hang on, let me explain. The other thing that is going on as my numbers increase is that I feel more reticent about share. I find myself censoring myself and not being as open as perhaps I have always been. I think this is a natural reaction to the situation where your numbers get bigger and there's a lot more people commenting and names you don't recognise and all that. And obviously it's lovely, it's what we all aim for, to get more subscribers and earn a little bit more money from YouTube, and that's great. But it has made me more guarded. You may have noticed that recently I started moderating comments. When you type a comment in, it doesn't show up immediately. I have to moderate them in the background. I approve them. The reason for this is that I have had an increase in negative comments, abusive comments even, not loads at all. But what happens when someone writes a negative comment is that people jump to my defence, which is lovely, but then it just makes the comments and that the other person will then answer back, and it just turns it into a whole big thing, and that just turns the comment section into not a nice place. So if I can fit, my thinking is I can filter out the abusive ones or the really unpleasant ones at the point so nobody else has to see them. Then only I've seen them, that's fine, and they're just deleted and blocked, and we can all move on and not have to deal with the ridiculous negativity. That having been said, I would never delete or not approve a comment that had constructive criticism, nicely worded, and I do still approve those ones. That's fine, they still show up. So although sometimes I might feel a bit hurt by someone's constructive criticism depending on how they word it, you know, that I will allow. But comments that are unpleasant, abuse, you know, abuse. I don't need to be called names. I just don't need that, you know. So I'd rather those didn't see the light of day. So there's that. And I think when you're in a bit of a negative frame of mind anyway and not feeling at your best, the negative comments can get to you a bit more. And after that last video, someone left a really unpleasant comment about Ashley, not about his nudity in the video, but a really unpleasant comment about him, and it just really got to me. Be abusive to me, you know, I can take it. I'm the one putting myself out there. Ashley doesn't particularly want to be in my YouTube videos, you know. He's not ever asked me to start a YouTube channel and do this, but he does make little appearances in my videos. If I put the camera on him, he'll try and say something funny or light-hearted or entertaining or witty, and it just as a supportive thing to me, really. I think, you know, I'm sure given the choice he'd go, no, I don't want to be on YouTube, but I think he does it as a supportive thing to me. And for someone to leave a really unpleasant comment about him, I was absolutely fucking livid. I was so furious, I can't tell you. And that was another reason that made me think, sod it, I'm not making videos for a bit. I'm done with this for the moment. I need to step back. So there's that, all that stuff. The other thing, I think I touched on this earlier and I want to go back to it again, is that not being as open and not feeling as comfortable to be as open as I have been in the past. Several people have commented recently about my, not recently, in the last 6 months to a year, I would say, about my breathing. Things like, please get your breathing checked, you're very out of breath. Well, if you were a blimmin' unfit 52-year-old woman trying on 8 different outfits on the hottest day of the year, you talking all the way through it, you might be a bit bloody breathless as well. I think people often forget that although you may think you know me, I would actually say that you know, nobody knows me. You see a very edited, filtered view of my life. Nobody really knows me as a person unless you actually, someone who's watching actually knows me in real life. And there are things that you don't say to strangers. Remember, you're essentially a stranger to me, or someone that I just know through the keyboard. And you know, reading things like go and get your breathing checked, it's just not very nice. It's just not. But I've made this all, I've talked a lot about comments, but the comments isn't the main issue. There's not a main issue. 13.5 minutes and I'm still struggling to get my point across. I feel, I don't know, am I or not? Who knows? But I feel like there's this requirement to apologise for yourself, and this was really, let me explain this by using an example from another YouTuber, Louise Pentland, very big YouTuber, who recently wrote a book called Mum Life, and she was talking about this book on her YouTube channel, and she said that she was going to give 100% of all her royalties from this book to charity. And what an amazing thing to do. Isn't that great? All of the money that she's making from the book she's giving to charity, and I thought that was lovely. But she said, as she said it, she said, I must point out that I do know that I'm very privileged to be able to do this, and you know, almost apologising for the fact that she's in a financial position to be able to give all that money to charity. And she shouldn't be. She mentioned this twice. She made this sort of apology twice and talking about it. And she shouldn't be having to do that. She shouldn't be saying, I'm very lucky to be in this, but obviously she's lucky to be in that financial position, and she doesn't need to acknowledge that fact when she's doing something good, you know, for the world. And I do feel like social media in particular has become this place where you're not allowed to say stuff like, God, I really need a holiday because I haven't had one since last December and I've worked a lot and I'm bloody tired. there's probably people out there thinking, well, I haven't had a holiday for 2 years. Yes, you haven't had a holiday for 2 years. That's right. And I'm aware that there are lots of other people in a way worse off situation than me. I know this. I know that there are other people who need a holiday more than me, but I can only talk about my own reality, and I shouldn't have to apologise for that. That is ridiculous. Moving on, there are another couple of issues, or there have been another couple of issues. You know about my dad's dementia. I think our recent trip away affected me more than I would like to admit. I know it has. I think it's subconscious rather than conscious. I'm a practical person. I like to find solutions for things and look for the way forward, and I'm a problem solver. That's how I get my kicks, really. And there's just not a way to solve this problem, is there? There's just not a real way. And I know that subconsciously I've got all the grief and the sadness and the frustration and all of those big bloody massive emotions that you have when, sorry, just breathing, all those emotions that you have when somebody close to you has such an awful disease. And I'm watching a series on Amazon Prime at the moment. This is related. I'm just segued away from it. Amazon Prime at the moment, called The World's Toughest Race, and there is a team in there with a son about my age and his father. His father is a lifelong adventure racer, and this is going to be his last race because he has dementia, and his son is in a team with him and helping him through. And sorry, I don't want to get it upset, but every time they show him on screen, I cry my heart out, and I know that is, normally I would not be so upset about seeing something on television about somebody with dementia, and it's obviously a reaction to my dad's situation, and you know, perhaps it's a way of letting it out. I don't know, but there's that going on as well. That's another struggle in my life. There's also been a situation recently with a bunch of middle-aged women that I was sort of on the periphery of, you know, an online situation where nasty backbiting and unpleasantness and talking behind each other's backs and just horrible, horrible school playground type stuff. I've removed myself from that situation, and I'm bloody glad I have. I removed myself a couple of weeks ago and I feel a lot better for that, so that's good. And the final straw that really set me off, or not set me off, was I have this book club, you know, the online book club that I do every month, and I started reading this month's book and I didn't like it and I couldn't get into it, and I felt like I was failing, and I was trying to force myself to read it, and it was yet another fucking thing that I didn't want to do, and I felt like I was failing because I wasn't enjoying the book and I ought to read it, and I just said, sod it, I'm not going to read it, put it away. And so yes, that's where I've been for the last 2 weeks, trying to get over all of these big feelings and issues and, yeah, stuff going on in my head. So what I've decided is, there are many things I can't control, but YouTube I can control. I'm not going to turn off the comments. I'm going to continue to have the comments on because I get so many great recommendations, and I like chatting from you guys, you know, to you guys, and when I can. But please don't think that I'm being rude when I can't reply to all the comments. It's really difficult, and it's purely a time issue. It's not that I'm ignoring you or don't want to reply. Whenever there's a question, I will try to reply, or, you know, I will try to reply as much as I humanly possibly can, but sometimes I won't be able to, so I hope you'll understand that. The other thing is, I'm going to give myself through the rest of August and September no timetable. Videos will pop up as and when I make them. Some weeks there may be 2 or 3, some weeks there may only be 1. I'm not going to give myself any timetable. I will try and get back to a timetable later in the year, but just until the end of September, give me a bit of leeway on that if you would. Thank you. All the other stuff, I mean, my dad's dementia, I can only do the bits and pieces that I can do to help my mum and dad through that process, and I'm doing my best to do those. The fact I don't have a cure for dementia frustrates me, and no doubt many people feel the same as that. Hopefully one day there will be a cure for it. It is a hideous disease, hideous. So having a holiday, that's something I can do something about, and Ashley and I have decided that we are going to take a week off, and we're going to go away for a week. I think probably only in this country. We're still making plans. I think it's unlikely we're going to get away abroad this year. But even so, it would be nice. We're planning to go to somewhere we've both wanted to go for a long time, and I will tell you a bit more about that as we as plans progress. But yeah, mid-September we're planning to take a week away, and I am looking forward to that immensely. It's very hard when you work from home to take time off. Whenever I'm at home, there's always something to be done with the business, and if Ashley's here, he's on call for work, and you know, he works through the weekends, and he worked all the way through lockdown, as did I. So yeah, although he wasn't physically going into his office, he was doing all the background stuff at home, and I was still selling on eBay, obviously. So yeah, we both need a break. We're looking forward to that. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I've been talking for 22 minutes and my battery light is flashing. I'm sorry if this wasn't what you expected to see, but I felt that's the most honest, that is the most honest explanation I can give of where I'm at the moment. As I said, 2020, it's been a year, hasn't it? So I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope everything's all right with everybody else, and I will get back into the swing of making a few videos. I've got a few on my list, so I will make those as and when I can. I have got quite a busy rest of August. It's my birthday later on this month and bank holiday weekend, so looking forward to that. And yeah, I will see you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.